Jesus stands at the door and knocks, he doesn't come and kick the door in and say, I'm here to save the day. We have free will. We have to invite Christ into our lives. And I think in the ministry of exorcism, the people that I deal with that are being tormented by demons, it's because they've turned their back on God. And in this ministry, I'm trying to help people turn their lives back to God, because whenever we return to God, then we are protected from evil. As Christians, I always say, if you're going to church, if you're praying, you're reading the Bible, the devil's already on the run. We don't have to do anything extraordinary to defeat the devil. It's the very ordinary aspects of our Christian faith. But there's a lot of people today, Christianity built the Western civilization, but there's a lot of people living in the West who've now turned their backs on God. They may have grown up in traditional Christian homes, maybe they've been baptized, but these are the very people we encounter now who say they no longer believe in God, they're an atheist, they're spiritual, they don't need to go to church, they can find God in nature and all of these things. But again, when people turn their backs on God, they've known the truth. It does seem that demons have a greater claim on the lives of these people, because again, they knew the truth of their faith, and yet they chose to walk away from it.
Are you saying that people in the West in particular are especially susceptible to demonic attack or activity now?
Yes, I would say people in the apostate world. So apostates are people who embrace the faith but then walk away. In my experience in the 17 years I've done this ministry, demons do seem to have a greater hold on people who have apostatized, who have walked away from their faith. And I think the reason is because they knew the truth, but they chose to say, no, thank you. And again, that's exactly, you think of the devil himself. God created him, gave him intellectual knowledge. It's infused knowledge. When angels were created, they didn't have to learn anything. It's like a computer being downloaded with information. So they have intellect, they have will. And God basically said to the angels, with all that I have given you, will you now glorify me? And then Lucifer said no. And in our lives, you think of the human person. With all that we're able to achieve, do we give the glory to God, or do we start to give the glory to ourselves? Look at me. Look at what I'm capable of doing. And I think a Christian is one who always puts the focus on God and not on self. And when we start to put the focus on self, that's when I believe we apostatize. Again, we turn our backs on God. And whenever we turn our backs on God is when the devil seems to have the upper hand.
Why does he care? Why does he and the demons, why do they come after people? What's at stake for them?
What's at stake is the human person has been created in the image and likeness of God. I would suggest that the human person is the greatest of all of God's creations. The book of Genesis, when God created everything, he simply said, let there be, and it was. But when it came to the human person, God was very deliberate in his actions. He formed Adam out of the clay of the earth. So he was more deliberate in the creation of the human person. And we know from Genesis that the human person reflects the divine image. And the devil believes that by afflicting humans, he's indirectly afflicting God himself. Because again, the devil knows that because of his decision, he faces eternal damnation. Misery loves company, so the devil believes that by afflicting the human person, not only does he indirectly affect God, if you will, but he wants humans to join in his rebellion against God. Sometimes I'm asked, why would the devil want to possess the human body? What's so great about that? And the answer is at the very core of our Christian faith. The greatest thing that God did for us is the incarnation. God took on human form in the person of Jesus Christ. And the devil, in his own twisted sense, believes that he can take on human form when he possesses a human body. But again, we're in the image of God, and because the devil wants to distort the image of God, when the devil possesses the human body, what does he do? He makes it something ugly. You see the manifestations that take place. So rather than the human person representing the beauty of God, the devil wants to distort the human person by making it something ugly and despicable.